Well, hello, all my party people. It is Wednesday, and I had a magnificent night off last night and rounded up all of these treasures and some more that are off camera to show you. Tomorrow is going to be the 4th of July, and I have decided to share some fairly significant information with you in regards to my journey in life tomorrow. And it's been coming for quite a long time, and I think some of you already know what's going on, and I really appreciate your support. Trust me, I do. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers that have come in. My name is Jason. I'm a jewelry historian and I'm a silversmith. I'm an auction advisor. I did estate sales in the Northern Ohio area for around 15 years. And I wanted to thank you all for the orders that you so generously gave to Jeremy at Bully Run Coffee. Within an hour of airing the last video, Jeremy had 11 orders. So he was so happy, and he wanted to have me remind you how grateful and thankful he truly is. He feels very blessed, and I thank you all for that support to him. To those of you who have asked for my eBay information, that is located on my primary page on YouTube. So if you just go to the main page on YouTube, the link to my eBay is right in on that main page. So you can just click the link and it takes you right there. So the first ring that I'm showing you today is a Levion ring, and it's contemporary. It's candlelight diamonds and white diamonds. It was on my index finger in the last video, and I had to clean it, and look how beautiful it came out. It's fully hallmarked on the inside, Levion and 14 karat gold, and as you know, I don't normally or customarily buy contemporary jewelry, especially fine jewelry, but this was an exception because look at this love knot design. There was just something about these stones and the design and the craft. The quality of the stones really got me. So that was in the last video, and I just wanted to bring that on. Purchased at a pawn shop for not a lot of money. I had a very good day that day, and I was very grateful that I found that. So I always tell you, please check the pawn shops and antique shops and flea markets. Just get out there and look, because these things are out there to be found. And I think retail on this was like $1,895, and I paid under 450. So that was a really good deal. I think there's about a carat 75 in diamonds, but just beautiful. All right. This video is going to be basically most of the finds that I've had from storage units and a few from flea markets. This will be coming back to some future videos, and this I could talk about this for a very long time, and I think more recently I've renewed my faith, and I needed some guidance over the last several months, and this pendant somehow, some way, healed me in so many different ways, and spiritually I'll discuss that in a coming video. It is 18 karat gold. It is thought that the enamel has been altered over the years, but initially in this style frame, this is thought to be late 1600s, early 1700s. And it is all gold and Limoges enamel, but the face of the Madonna, the lack of detail in the eyes, and that kind of ghost-like image really affected me drastically. Again, I'm at a loss for human words, because sometimes I just prefer to let these things communicate with the viewers on my channel. And I'm an artist, so I could make a piece of art to convey the message that this helped me with, but I just let you take it in. I'm going to struggle, and that's part of me being mortal, I suppose. The back, I believe, I'm not going to say who I think the figure is just yet, but stripped down and a small loincloth area here and a crown and a scepter, and then the crucifixion in the background. My initial thought was that it was Joseph, and again, not exactly sure, but very early scalloped enamel border, and authentic 1600s, 1700s, and then the writing quite possibly was added slightly later. I'm not exactly sure on that. This is a very rare survivor, and again has assisted me in my current decisions. So we'll leave that over here. And I had that with me in my bag today, and I just felt like today was the day to discuss that. So I hope you understand that I had to share that today. This is a Dueber Hampden watch, and Dueber Hampden was based out of Canton, Ohio, which is just south of where I live. And this is a beautiful pocket watch, and there is a dust cover in here that does come down. And then there's a beautiful six-pointed star on the inside. I would say that was custom added by a jeweler. And then the front of it is a mixture of both silver and 14 karat gold, inset with a beautiful mine cut stone in the center and this amazing applique of a floral, mixed metals, and the design of this really is beautiful. And look at the hand engraving, the hand chasing and engraving, gold findings, and a tube hinge here. And then when you flip this over, look at the back of it. The whole thing is so considered. The person that owned this back when extremely wealthy, and there is no, let's see if I can get in there. Let me back this out for a moment. See if there we go. I just pushed down on the inside here. That little area here where it, you wind it is missing, but there's the Hampden enamel face, and I really loved this. There's the 14 karat hallmark. Let's zoom in on that. It says 1-4. My camera's fighting with me already. It's because the glare. Let's see. Let me settle down. 14K right there. There we go, 14K, and then Dueber, Deuber, and then the hallmark of the company that manufactured this amazing mixed metals case. So, fantastic craft. The chain is original, and the finding is gold filled, but I believe that this chain could be 14 karat white. The way the solder seams are, I will check this eventually, but it's a very long chain, but original to this amazing watch. So that is just fantastic. And this came out of a storage unit in Columbus, Ohio. And the dealer sold it to me for very little money back in the day. We'll put that down, and I guess there we go. This little lavaliere, this also came from a storage unit auction. This was based out of Merriman Valley in Akron, Ohio. And this came from a storage facility auction. And I believe that my first storage unit that I ever bought was in 1996. I think it was 96, 97. So it's been, quite a while. It's been a minute. But this one is 14 karat gold and natural pearls. This is American in manufacturer. A lot of these that we see are English, and this is a lavaliere. So it's a very romantic and small, very feminine drop pendant. The chain is new, 14 karat gold, but that was on there. So I just left it because I will find an old chain for it eventually, but I love the style of this. I thought that was beautiful and very romantic and very well constructed, beautifully done. The soldering and the way this is constructed, quite fantastic. And to have all the little natural pearls. Look at the shape of those. They're so out of round, but that's because they're natural. And the two drops, usually one of these is missing, and this one's both are here. So I loved that, and very, again, moderately priced, because when I bought that unit, I don't remember if this was the unit that I got the piano in, because I bought a unit and I didn't notice, but there was a an upright piano in the back of the unit, and that's a whole nother story. And I'll tell that eventually about a piano that I bought that was then sold to Harry Connick Jr. So very amazing that this gentleman in Akron that helped me get out of the unit on time then sold the piano to Harry Connick Jr. So a piano that I owned is now owned by someone very famous and quite handsome. So anyways, this is 14 karat gold and diamonds. And this also came out of a storage facility auction. It was in a jewelry box, and now it's free to me. I don't think I paid, yeah, I didn't pay much for the box, and I sold it for a substantial amount, but this is well over 2 carats of beautiful diamonds in this kind of cluster design in a beautiful open heart. I liked the quality of the stones and the balance. I'm not one for like cluster diamonds, but when they're done this well and all the prongs are there and the stones are so beautiful, and you don't pay much for it, I say absolutely yes. I'll take that. So that's that one. And then we'll kind of clear these out. I just want to say thank you so much again for always supporting me and being so kind. I'm going to leave her here. I was going to take her out, but I decided to leave the Madonna right where she's at. I need to look at that today. So we'll scoot her right there. And then this box is kind of unsorted, and you'll have to forgive the kind of mess, but this one is 14 karat gold, and it was sold to me as sterling silver, and they missed the mark because it's not where it normally is on the clasp here, because normally it's marked 14K or 585 on this. So if it's marked 585, that's 14 karat gold. If it's marked 750, that's 18 karat gold, and it's marked here. So there's the maker's mark, and then 14K. So they missed that, and it's marked Turkey on this side, and those are little soldered cartouche tags. And the way the metal is constructed, it's so beautiful. It's very wearable today. And the heart, you could engrave it with initials. It's not engraved at all. And then look at the little diamonds inside of the clasp. Just a very classy, very sophisticated, everyday wear kind of bracelet. Beautiful. And I want to say I paid 20 for this. And I think in gold now it's like 675 or 685, but beautifully done. And I guess I show this to be a testament to what I've done for the last 28 years of my life, which is constant buying and selling. And this one's 18 karat gold. And I bought this at the flea market, but I believe the woman did get this out of a storage unit auction. I don't think she had very much money in it, because at the time she didn't even charge me scrap weight on this. It's marked 750 right there. So I wanted to start showing some of the hallmarks and to start saying it's marked 750. So that's 18 karat gold. And that's the Italian mark there in that cartouche, or kind of cipher mark. The solder seams are correct. The wear pattern is correct. And I always look at the top bail or top jump ring. When these are soldered shut, it's a strong indicator that it's high karat gold, or at least 14 karat. So always look to see if these top jump rings are soldered closed. Most of the time when they're not, they're a lesser metal. But you can't always tell by that, but that's a strong indicator. So when someone says to me, how do you know it's gold? I always start there and look at the way these are soldered together. But that's what I've done to guide me along my personal journey. And there's little tips and tricks that you'll learn throughout time, but that was just one of them for me. This is Justice, because she's blindfolded, and that's at least what I've known the motif to be frequently. There was a sculpture that was done in this manner as well, and it's a very famous sculpture, but we've always considered Justice being blindfolded, because Justice is supposed to be blindfolded, supposed to be blind, and no judgment. So I loved this, and I guess I go back to my current my current situation in life. Who doesn't like to live their life without judgment? And this was just beautiful, and I loved her so much, so I fished her out. And then this is a classic example of sometimes where you can find gold and platinum. And this one is a Art Deco watch. Those are diamonds, and those are created blue sapphires. Those are not natural. This is a created sapphire in the crown of where you wind the watch. And then there's no markings on the outside. But when you pop this open, and I'm going to attempt to do this on camera, when you pop this open, they usually hinge open like this. Look at the attention to the azuring on those stones. You can almost tell that you're into a fine metal because there is not very much oxidation. They have the secondary engraving, hand engraving around the outside. And then when you carefully pop this out, let me take this back a little bit. When you carefully lift this out, never put your hands on the front of the face. When you lift it out of there, then you'll look on the inside, and right there, I believe this one, let me look with my loupe really quick. This may be 18. carat. It is. So it's 18 karat gold. And there's a 1/8 and then the maker's mark, and then I believe the K right there. But that's 18 karat gold. Look how the way they finished the inside of the case with that engine turned design to finish the inside of the metal case. And what I've been doing with these, and I don't think this is necessarily wrong, because a lot of times these are very beat up, they're missing hands, and the works just don't work. If they do work and they do run and they don't require a lot of work, I will keep them the way they are. But what I've been doing with the ones that aren't, I solder this closed right here, I leave this open, and then what I've been doing is putting my dog's fur inside of this with the compartment, and then I have a pendant, or I could make a ring and have my dog's fur with me in a vintage kind of locket. And when you pay as little as I paid for this, I believe I paid $5 or $10, maybe I paid $2. But when you pay that little, it's a beautiful thing to be able to use it. I don't like to undo history, but when those watches aren't running and they're not a huge name brand, it's okay. I'll always keep this watch and not discard it, or I would find someone that needs it for the parts. Because sometimes, I guess why I change them is the watches themselves they're not waterproof, they don't last forever. Who needs a watch right now when you have your little clock on your phone? They're not very sellable, is my point. So I wouldn't do that to one like, Patek Philippe or Rolex or Longines or Hamilton. I wouldn't do that to that pocket watch earlier, but on something like this, I've never minded, doing that. And sometimes when I find these, the watch works are gone anyway. So enough of a lecture on that, but that one I'm going to leave intact and see if I can get it fixed, and if not, I can convert it later. This ring reminded me of the Levian ring earlier in design. So there's the Levian version, and this is the old version, and why I showed this one is, I brought this to a past video. This is platinum and rose gold. And I wasn't sure it was platinum at first, but it most certainly is platinum and rose gold and hand fabricated and soldered together. Someone made this. Someone just handcrafted this, and I love the simplicity of design. I love the wear pattern. I love that this meant something very much to someone as a love knot design. And this was on a charm bracelet. So there was a little jump ring that ran through this, and it was just dangling on a bracelet. Again, came out of a storage unit auction, sold the rest of the bracelet for several $100s. There were silver charms on it, sterling silver from World Travel. And then this one, I took this off and I kept this for free. So that will stay with me. I just loved the simplicity of that design, and I do wear this. I do absolutely love this ring. So I wanted to show that. So please pay attention sometimes and have your metal tested when it doesn't look like it's silver and plated metal. Look at the gray quality to that matte finish, that gray, almost coldness of platinum. Doesn't look like sterling, it just doesn't to me. There's a difference there. There's just a difference in tone, and you'll become more aware of that the more you see of these metals. And that's why I try and tell people, go out to auctions, go out to antique shows, go to antique malls, touch things, examine things, look at things closely. This one's 14 karat gold. I bought this out at the flea market, and the gentleman had gotten it at a storage unit auction. I believe he's from Cleveland. I might have that wrong, but I had seen him a few times, and this is a 14 karat white gold curb link chain. And then this is a remarkable and beautiful 14 karat white gold filigree lavaliere necklace, and this is Edwardian, so that's right around 1910 to 1915. When people say they're deco, I just have a problem with that, because deco was so much more bold, machine age, and streamlined. This could slightly transition with these diamond shapes that are a little more graphic, but look at this airiness and this filigree, this light, beautiful, light, like the diamond lace again. That's not deco, that's definitely Edwardian. And look at the engraving on the surface, that kind of mill grain around the stones. and then that very beautiful tooling that then completes that airiness of design. I've never seen one this large, and I've never seen one that was originally a pendant. Sometimes you'll see these converted from brooches, but they'll be symmetrical. Like if that were a brooch, it would be the same on this side as this side. This one's always been a pendant. Very difficult to find them as a lavaliere pendant. I think I paid $600, and I would say with the chain now complete, probably 12 to 1500, pretty easy because of the size of this and the quality of the diamonds. They're not really that large. I think the largest might be around 20 points. That's not the thing that indicates the value on something like this. The design, the craft, and the condition is what indicates the value on something like this. So there's that one. And then in these two boxes, there's this one. And thank you again for sticking with me. I know I'm kind of tripping over my words today, but it was kind of a little bit of a lengthy night last night. I was a little anxious, and I was up late cleaning and kind of redoing my creative space. So my studio is going to be up and running very, very soon, and that's part of the news tomorrow. This is Edwardian again. This is right around 1910, 1915. At the very newest, it would be 1918. Anyone who says this is 1920 is again gravely mistaken. It is missing one tiny little diamond. It's never bothered me that was gone, but I can easily get that fixed. Look at the ornate quality of this. How delicate, how feminine. Look at the rosette flowers, these 5-petaled flowers with, again, that very fine millgrain, the little dots, that little millgrain that goes around those stones. And the way this is set, I've always said, look at the construction of these things. When you see less metal than you do stones, you know you're in the presence of something very fine and beautiful. And this is no exception. This bow design and the garland of flowers, very Edwardian, very much so. The large diamond here, I believe, is around 30 or 35 points, and then they go down from there. That one's probably around, I would say, 15 to 20 points, bezel set, but beautiful craft and beautiful design. Again, this, back in the day, would have been used as a pendant as well. And you can see some joints here that used to articulate. There's one there, there's one there, and this central pendant would articulate as well. So all of those would move. So this had a great deal of movement, likely as a pendant and a brooch, but someone soldered those together and fused those together over the years, likely to make it more wearable just as a brooch, just as a pin. But I loved the quality of the stones. I'm kind of the biggest sucker for old cut diamonds. There's something about them that are much more romantic and much more regal than contemporary diamonds. And that's just a personal preference. It's just a taste. And I want to know in the comment section, what do you all feel about old diamonds like this? Do you love them the same as contemporary? Do you love them more? Do you love them less? Tell me in the comments below, do you love old diamonds and why? So I think that was just a magnificent piece, and I love it. And it's got this tiny little box that it's been in since its birth way back then. And can you imagine the lucky woman who got this box with this beautiful brooch in it? You can see that she loved it very much, because that's someone's hand wearing on that velvet every so often to then pull this out and wear this. I just think that is an extraordinary example of Edwardian jewelry. I think it's just fantastic. And then there's this one, and this has a long story. This, of course, is not the original box, but this is where this resides. There's a long story behind this one, and this means a great deal to me and my mother. There's a long story there, and this is platinum topped 14 karat gold, and of course the design is Lily of the Valley, and then this is a good luck horseshoe. So it's a Lily of the Valley and a good luck horseshoe, and again, I'll be wearing this on my shirt maybe over the next couple of weeks to remind me of like rebirth and good luck. There's nothing wrong with having both of those things in all of our lives. We're all entitled and need luck and rebirth in our lives. And this is just an amazing example of an Edwardian brooch. There's the pinback. I've always talked about that little lever being right around 1900 to 1915, maybe used as late as 1918. Look at the azuring on the back of this. Look how finely done that is. Look how fine that is opened up on the back to let the light through those amazing diamonds. And there are transitional cut diamonds in this. Some are European and some are slightly transitional into modern brilliant at this later time. So I think there's a couple that may have been replaced as well, but that is just so exquisitely done. And I love how fine and beautiful. Look how small, but look at the quality of the stones. Again, this came to me for a very nominal amount of money back in the day. And again, something that I always remember the love of my mother from. So that will stay with me as well. So we'll scoot this out of the way. And we'll move our Madonna right back into a place of prominence. And then I have just 3 more. And we'll call it a day. And I'll get an earlier start tomorrow. I'm going to go out to the flea market in the morning. I have to treasure hunt tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big day at the flea. So I've got to get out there early. This is something that I don't like the term when people say Frankenstein with jewelry, because Frankenstein wasn't exactly attractive to most people. But this was made up of a pair of earrings, at least as me as a historian, a pair of diamond and collet set. These are collet set diamonds in silver topped gold. So there's gold on the back, 14 karat gold on the back, likely European. And then these beautiful, beautiful European cut diamonds, and they're silver on the front, so silver topped gold. And I wanted to bring this on to show you, way back in the day, they were putting silver on top of gold. These are natural pearl drops mounted on 14 karat gold, and why I considered this I don't want to say a marriage, but altered. This wasn't a marriage, but this was altered. These were pendant earrings. Someone then so geniusly, way back when, created this asymmetrical lariat-style drop. The reason why this isn't original, these are paste stones. These are not diamonds, but these are also silver-topped gold. So this was a piece that was put together or altered and beautifully done. But as a jewelry historian, I have to make sure that when I find things like this, that I explain to people why and how we know that they're altered. But this one for sure was definitely altered over time. And the family had kind of indicated that to me through some photographs as well. So this being the same age as this, it does go together beautifully, but it just didn't start life as a lavaliere style necklace. It did not. And I know that for sure. But look at the work on this. And that gold was on the back of silver. So I wanted to show you that to make sure that you understood that there was silver-topped gold. In just a moment, I'm going to show you platinum-topped gold. But this is a very old chain as well. Beautiful old ball clasp on the thumb ring back here. So that's old. But a fantastic and beautiful and romantic piece. I wish I knew a little bit more about the person that owned this. I just feel very attached to this necklace, and I have worn this several times. But something that I feel is just a stunner. These are the platinum-topped gold earrings, and there are tiny hallmarks along this edge right here. There's about, I would say there's a good 4 or 5 of them. I wish I could zoom in. I think that these are Russian in origin, and they are diamonds, and this is platinum-topped gold. And the diamonds are European cut, very beautiful, and the stones here are rose cut and single cut. And then up here on the very top, sorry to fidget, you'll have to excuse my fidgeting on this, but up at the top here, look at these bezel set diamonds that go up the ear wire. So small, so delicate, and each bezel is custom made for each little diamond. Each little diamond is so carefully put into these tiny little bezels. The romanticism of this design, again, right around 1900, maybe 1905 on these, but platinum topped gold. If you felt these in your hand, they're very heavy. They're very dense for how small they are. You would put them in your hand and say, wow, that's something of quality, because they feel quality. Look at the solder seams. Gold does tarnish. I've covered that before, so please make sure that you understand that gold will tarnish, especially around the solder seams. I show you these things close up so you can see that tiny, thin layer, very, very thin layer of platinum applied to the surface of that 18 karat gold. Look at that diamond. Look at the scintillation. Such a tiny stone, but so powerful in its sparkle and its beauty. That's why I love early diamonds. That shows exactly why I love early cut stones. They perform so different than contemporary stones. And again, please leave a comment and let me know. Do you love these earrings? Are these something that you would consider wearing today? Because boy, they sure look timeless to me. And I loved the way the construction was. Very well thought out, very beautiful, lever back, original, just so fantastic. Absolutely gorgeous. So I loved those. And the last piece I'll show you today and let you get on to hopefully preparing for your special Independence Day tomorrow with your family and friends. And hopefully you'll go out and enjoy the day and watch some fireworks. I did add this chain. So this chain is not correct. I added this chain so that I could make this wearable for myself. So this was added later. So don't ever judge a pendant by its chain. Don't do that, because things have changed over time. And this is, again, silver topped gold. So we have silver on the top of 14 karat gold, completely soldered together. Why I show you this is one of my favorites. This has been with me a very long time. And the person that I bought this from was a dealer from Cleveland, and he was in business with a lot of people, a lot of auctioneers in the auctioneer world, and also in storage units. So I believe that the story was that this did go through a storage unit auction, and they did find it unexpected in a box of jewelry. And of course, the initial owner thought it was marcasites and sterling silver, and it's not. It's all diamonds and in silver topped gold. Very large for its style. It did start life as a brooch. So there's some findings here that would indicate this started life as a brooch, and it has been altered quite frequently. Some soft solder repairs here and there to hold the layers together. We do see this quite frequently. It would bother some people, but this isn't a problem to get it cleaned up and get that off of there and get way down in there and get that cleaned up as well. But fantastic that most of the stones are closed back set, so you can almost see that through the history of this may be altered with those open back stones, but the rest of it being closed backed quite early. The date on this, you'd have to circa date it around 1860. It could be as early as 1840, maybe even 1830, but the cut of the stones as well indicates it's a very early brooch. Was an early brooch. You can see that that stone is very out of round. You know, people call it mine cut. I'm not going to argue with that right now, but we'll get into the cut of that stone eventually. But look at these other stones, so beautifully faceted. And I just loved this. And underneath, the reason why these look yellow and brown is because these were foil backed underneath there, and the foil has oxidized over time. So that silver surface has oxidized, and that's why you're seeing a lot of that. And it can be remedied, but I've always considered that history of a piece. So I'll leave it alone and wear it just as it is, because I've loved this and it's brought me a lot of luck over the years. So again, I'll be wearing this hopefully this week as well. But I just want to say thank you all so much. Again, a thank you from Bully Rum Coffee. A thank you from me and my family. And I will be on with you tomorrow. And again, I'll have some information on an email and a post office box and kind of a major announcement, just so we can get past that and on to some really amazing information and some really positive things that are going to go on. So you know how I end this, and I'll zoom in on these two so you can enjoy those on the way out. I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I truly mean it. You all mean a great deal to me, and I thank you all for your support and your love, and you know that I love you.